Top tier greetings, peace, and blessings, human tribe. As you can see, we are ready to get outside. I hope you're catching the vibe. Getting ready for the LOOWIT loop. So, doing some backpacking means we need to put some more things in our backpack. Especially what? Snacks and food this time. Because we're going to be making meals, right? So this is really just the base setup. Still would have to add in a rain layer, like a jacket, windproof, rainproof layer. My stove kit is not here, as well as the gas that'll go with that. Just takes up a lot of space, and not all the food items that I'm going to be having, because I'll also be making a homemade organic granola, as well as a nut butter, and then come up with some dried fruits as well. So those will be going in that area, but these are just some of the things that you may see in a store to get off the shelf, just to get into your pack, making dinner or campsite a bit easier. But I wanted to give you a run through of pretty much everything that's going to get me around Mount St. Helens, and the other mountains that I'll be circumnavigating as well, because this won't change too much. This is pretty much the base, all right? This is going to be a really good outline. So without further ado, let's get into it. First and foremost is the backpack, right? So, as we've seen before, right, in the pack video, what can we take to carry our stuff when we get on trail? This is my DEUTER. It's 60 liters, which means that the inside of it holds a total of 60 liters, right? It's going to have my sleeping system, minus the tent, in the bottom, right? So just in the bottom is going to be able to have my pillow, or I may hang my pillow on the outside, and my sleeping bag, as well as my sleeping clothes, right? So that'll all be in the bottom, wrapped up in plastic bag. On the top, wrapped up in a plastic bag, will be the actual sleep system, the tent, our enclosure, our palace, while we're out there packing, right? So that's going to really be easily stuffed down inside. The clothes that I'll be wearing will be of one of these here that we'll be going through in a moment. And then also there will be, one set of this. So just imagine half of this will be on me, half will be in my pack. So we're really not taking up too much space. My tent is over there, but tents don't take up much space. I want you to think, that the tent is something that when you put your stuff in your pack, it can really fit and squish and smush inside of all these little crevices. It's almost like flowing water, okay? It will still make your pack larger, it's not invisible. It is still matter, so it matters, but at the same time, it is one of either the last items you want to put in or can put in if you're adding a lot of things in, or if you're putting it straight in at the base because there's other things you want to grab off the top, then, I just wouldn't stress about it, right? Try to pack light, try to pack efficient, but your sleep system, meaning your tent, because sleeping bags and sleeping pads take up some space, but your tent shouldn't really bother you that much. And then, of course, as you're layering these things inside of your backpack, you want to make sure that you are building a sandwich that is appetizing to your adventure, right? So at the base, what I'm most likely going to do, right? Remember, we have our plastic bag. This is going to save us from rainfall, regardless of what sort of material our backpacks are made out of. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting my tent at the bottom, because I am not going to be packing so much stuff that in an emergency, say a windstorm, a rainstorm, if I need to pull it out, I don't have a lot of stuff on top of it. And with it being at the bottom, the little stuff that I do have with an extended brain at the top, see, this is where the backpack actually stops here. But this extended brain section, right? So this is, well, like it's an extended neck more so. My brain is at the top, and that has more so emergency stuff, you know, again, to make sure that in an emergency I'm set. But I can put whatever I want. If there's excess snacks, if, you know, I run out of snacks on my waist packs, or anything else that I might need to sit up top, right? So this could be my portable battery charger pack. If my camera's going low, if my phone is going low and I want to get some footage, I want to record something, I want to talk to you guys, I want to show you something, my hat or something, perhaps I want to switch something out, right? So just really important that the way that you layer this benefits you. How often are you going to be in your pack? Is there a higher chance of emergency? And yeah, how much does your pack hold? So yeah, moving on from that, let's get to what's going to be had at camp, because that's really the most important part. The packing journey is really not too you know, intensive when it comes to gear. Once you have what you're wearing, you're just off on trails enjoying Mother Nature. So at camp, you want to be comfortable. At least that's how I feel. So I'm not glamping, you know, I'm not glamp packing, but I am making sure that after the work that I do, after my enjoyment of the sights and sounds during the daytime, that at nighttime I can rest as properly as possible, right? So what I have is my sleeping pad, right? That's only going to take about 90 seconds to blow up. It does not need a pump. I blow it up with my own lungs here. And then also, camp chair is going to serve me well to be able to read at camp, to be able to sharpen a blade, to be able to do some foot care, excuse me, you know, or just sit back and enjoy some nice hot cocoa and my meal. Also have the tripod there to make sure that when I'm setting up anywhere to be able to talk to you guys, show you something, speak to you guys, then I'm going to be able to do so in comfort and stability, because that's important for you guys, right? You guys want to freeze frame, right? Right. Next up is, of course, foot care. Like I said, making sure that our Lamborghinis are taken care of is going to be key. A lot of backpackers, enthusiasts, even educators, people that blog and make videos will, you know, stress taking the most minimal amount of gear as you can. And I'm not really an advocate for that. I feel like training for backpacking will allow you to carry a few more ounces here and there, which may add up to a pound or two, depending on how long your trip is. You know, a pound over 5 days, if we're talking about, you know, 2 extra pairs of socks and 2 extra pairs of underwear, I don't think that there's really a problem with that, you know. And I don't think that weighs a pound, but again, I'm just throwing out numbers here. But the minimal socks I would take on a 3 to 4 day journey, even with camp suds to be able to wash my own socks, would be 3 pair of socks. You never know what may happen. Also, the drier you can keep your feet and the fresher you can keep your feet is the more benefit that your feet will provide you during this hopefully long and enjoyable trek, right? And then you always want a pair of socks that are just for camp. You just want a pair for camp that are not coming out of the bag. Again, that's why I said my sleeping wear is going to be in the bottom, in there with my sleeping bag, right? In there with, you know, my pillowcase or whatever, you know, is going to be right there in my tent, okay? Very important, very, very important that we do not forget that, right? So fresh socks, they don't go out on trail, they don't get sweaty, we've already cleaned our feet, we've done our feet care, they're dried, right? We've moisturized them, and then we are going to sleep and we are putting on fresh socks, okay? But in that in-between time, while we're on trail, we want to be switching our socks, right? And then if anything happens, right, say we switch our socks, midday, we switch our socks, and then from there, something happens. We get extremely muddy. Now we only have the sweaty pair of socks, and we only have our sleep socks. Instead of sacrificing our entire system, we can just bring an extra pair of socks. Socks squish down, very small. And I know you feel like I may be going on here a lot about socks, but if you, hopefully you've watched other videos about people's gear loadout, You'll notice that they don't pack a lot of the items that are either in sweatier areas or areas that need more hygiene, i.e. the private parts, so underwear, and feet, which is a very moist area. This is coming from your holistic performance enhancement specialist, Zeke, Khali, right? I am a recreation revolutionary, so I am here to make you think and hopefully guide you to make a better decision. Now, moving forward through camp. Boom, got to have a wool cap because it will get cold. We are on top of a mountain at higher elevations. Also some camp sweats, right? And then a long sleeve shirt. And then we've got our wool thick socks in there as well that we'll be going to sleep in. Got our thermos for our hot drinks in the morning and at night. So cocoa, reishi, most likely some ginger, and then also our coffee in the mornings. Always at camp, you want to have some form of activities. Of course, I have my sleeping bag. Depending on how cold it gets, that's the North Face one bag system. I really do love it. I'm not here to advertise, but I'm saying when you find something that works for you, then share it with the world. Perhaps there are more people that will benefit from it as well. And this is really cool because it has a detachable outside sort of sheath, an extra blanket layer on top, if you will. And with that, you can detach it all the way depending on how hot it is in the summer. And you can also wear it, as sort of like a poncho or not a poncho, a shawl that snaps around the neck as well, sort of like a featherbed cape. And then, when it gets really cold, you can zip it back on top or just lay it over the top of you while you are inside of the tent. It's really an innovative system that I love. And I've got my pillow. Now I am experimenting with different pillows. I think I will get a different one. I'm going to try it out one more time. But I believe that with the shape of my shoulders, the contour of my neck, and all of that good stuff, I need a pillow that has a shape or sort of a curvature in it. So imagine instead of this pillow being perfectly square, right? Imagine here being cut out a bit, and I've gotten good reviews back from other people about their pillows with that, and that seems to be the game changer. So yeah, we'll try it out one more time, see how that works, and then also the bottom slides around a bit. So yeah, it's a bit of an experimental thing. It's an adventure in and out of the tent, right? On the trail and off the trail. Watch out for it. Boom, let's get on the trail. Boom, shout out to the hydration sponsor. You see it. Get that noon on your movement. And that's just to block out the sun, to make sure that, if I don't want to have glasses on my face, then I just want to have, something to be able to make sure that sun's not beaming in my eyes. I can enjoy the trails. I can keep my eyes side to side. And then, I've got sweat wicking layers, longer sleeves that, of course, are adding another layer over the thinner layer, that allowing still some conduction of the heat, right? Just making sure that heat is leaving the skin, trying not to sweat while I'm carrying the weight. And then, of course, some longer sleeves that are a bit looser. So depending on the temperature of the day, is it windy? You just want to make sure that, again, we've spoken about layers. How we want to layer things is going to help our body regulate temperature. We want to stay in the proper range of our homeostasis. And then, of course, just some hiking shorts, right? Some lightweight fitness shorts that do have a liner on the inside, but we may, depending on the temperature, again, this is why it is important to pack multiple pairs of unders, right? So we've got a thicker pair of sort of yoga shorts here that go just to the knee, and they're compression, but they're, again, nice and thick. And then we've got the ones that go all the way to the ankle, just depending on how cold it is getting up in the morning before the sun comes up. And after the warm up, then we'll figure out, which is the best direction to go. And even if it becomes, midday, we can always change out of that, right? So and then of course, if it is really cold in the morning, then this is the cold weather setup. This is going to be the cold weather setup. So just a really thick layer Also, that has a quarter zip, again, trying to regulate as much of the temperature as we can without having to stop as often as we might not want to, just to try and regulate do that thermal regulation. Also have a balaclava in there that's nice and thick, and then a pair of gloves. Wool socks for the trail, sport socks that are to the knee, again for the trail. And yeah, I actually have another t-shirt and another pair of socks that just need to be laundered. But yeah, that would be all that I'm carrying. I'll be there for 3 nights, 4 days. And on one of those days, I'll actually be doing some trail running, getting some trail running footage, as well as some base camp shadowboxing or shadowboxing next to the falls, depending on which area I want to do it. I'll also be packing in the food, and that'll be inside of a beer bag, sack, this thick piece of thing, but hopefully we don't run into any big guys or gals out there ready to roar. But yeah, alhamdulillah, we'll be okay. No problems there. Also, very important, we want to clean up every night at camp, right? So I'll also be having to pack in a lot of water, so we'll talk about that in a moment. But these shower wipes are very important, right? Clearly there's no shower in the backcountry. So just making sure that you are clean at camp is so crucial before you get inside of your sleep system. Before you get inside of your sleeping bag, you do not want to take in that grit, that grime, that perspiration. That perspiration is the body detoxing itself as well. Again, this is your holistic performance enhancement specialist giving you the down low, making sure that you're healthy when you wake up, okay? So making sure that you're wiping yourself top to bottom, front to back, everything. And then allowing that to just, don't jump in moist into your sleep system. Do that before you sit down at camp. Do that while your water is boiling, right? Do that as you're watching the sunset, whatever. Very, very important. I didn't want to forget that. Also got some bug spray. Got, my bandana. So this can be headwear. This can be worn around the neck to provide from, excess sun exposure. There's silty water on this trail in some of the water sources. The water is scarce. Again, we might as well talk about it right now. I've got multiple bladders because the water is scarce on the mountain, on the trail, on the LOOWIT loop. So I'll be getting water at a really nice spring, but that'll be 21 miles in. I'm going to be starting at June Lake. So I'll be taking in quite a lot of water. This will be 4.5 liters. And then I'll be able to stop for water at a small stream. Perhaps and it's earlier in the season, so there's a lot more of the scarce water sources available. So not worried about that at all. But again, if in emergency, some of those siltier sources that are not like the Toodle, I could pull some water in a container, right? Just imagine a container. I could fill this, right? And then open the top of my filter system and then lace this over the top of the filter system and then allow the water to come through there and then filter it again after that with the Sawyer squeeze. So yeah, no, want to be prepared for everything. Of course, just in case anything gets dirty, got Clorox wipes to make sure that that can be disinfected. Like a mouthpiece on the bladder. Also, I am going to minimize the pack here. My medical bag here, going to minimize that to make sure that we can take what is necessary, whether it be a splint, wraps, bandages, quick stitches, etc. Just to make sure that we have everything we need in case of emergency. This is just for journaling. We've got to have some camp reading material, of course. There's not much wood on this trail, so it's not like I can do any, knife skills or anything like that, but still we'll have this, so we'll always want to sharpen that. And that is really it. Like I said, we've got food over here. Backpackers Pantry, I've heard a lot of good stuff about them, and I love their coconut beans and rice with the banana. And I've heard so much good stuff about this pad thai, so I'm probably going to grab another one. And then also going to grab another coconut beans and rice. And then also just trying out some other ones. So I wanted to make sure that I had enough stuff, especially with that training day in there. And then training every day in the morning. You know, this isn't just waking up and chillaxing. Though there will be a whole lot of chillaxing in the evening time. You know, in early afternoon. So yeah, that's it, you guys. I hope that this gives you some semblance of how easy it is to get out. Not a lot here. This shouldn't be too daunting of a task once you have the base of these things: your sleep system, your tent, your sleeping pad, your sleeping bag. You know, that is the most important thing right there. And of course, your hydration system in your pack. From there is pretty much the same things that you would be taking hiking, plus your stove, plus a little bit more first aid, and then plus some food, or more food, of course, because we are all about the vittles going in the face whenever we're on the trail, right? That's the point. That's the point. We want to be able to get out and enjoy, and then enjoy some flavors. Yeah. So until next time, you guys get out and explore. Tell me all about it. You know where to reach out. If not, you won't see the graphics. Be easy, you guys. Love your skin and what's within. Peace.